Okay, welcome back, everybody. Another week of training here. I've got a quick turnaround to my next competition. It's going to be this weekend, April 11th. So, had a lot of fun at my last competition last week or 2 weeks ago there. I kind of forgot how much fun it was to compete in local shows. So many competitors. It's always good to see new faces, people growing the sport, and obviously, old friends, people that you're somewhat rivals with, or people that you just like seeing competing, seeing the energy they bring to the competition floor. It's obviously inspiring. It's good to see other people, especially training by yourself. Don't get to see many people that, love the same things you love. So yeah, always good. Anywho, training. Monday, I was working on the double dumbbell press here that we have at my next show. So Monday, had a top set here with the 80s. I was doing 2 cleans into 5 presses, just to get used to that cleaning of the dumbbells. Excuse me. It's a little bit awkward, especially with the big dumbbells that I have to work with. Having the 25s on the handles is not the easiest. So competition day, having the dumbbells be a bit more compact is going to be beneficial. Accessory there was just some lockout work, not too heavy. Just trying to target that end range where I'm, kind of the weakest, and pump that out. And then finisher for the day was some kind of multi drop set lat raises. Excuse me. Started off with the chains here, just add a little bit of instability, really make that muscle have to work. And then drop down to the dumbbells. I just the handles. It's about 10, 12 pounds. Sorry, bad angle. So I just showed a few of these. And then I had to grab the 5s and just do some kind of slow-ish work. That's pretty burnt out already. But yeah, that was a pretty easy day. Just trying to get back into the groove of things. This is obviously right after my competition. So a little beat up, but not crazy. I don't want to say I didn't push myself in the competition, but I knew the events, especially like just the deadlift, where I knew I just didn't have it. I kind of hit my, good numbers, and then I called it. Didn't need to try and kill myself for an extra rep or something. So Tuesday we had some squats. Had the box squat with the SSB and some chains. Worked up to a decent weight, but again, just trying to make sure that hips and back and the lower extremities feel good. I added the chains in just for some variety, really. I found, looking back at some of my training, when I was doing lots of squats against chains and different, bars, different variations, that my squat and deadlift were progressing really well. So probably going to keep these in, probably add some bands in to some squat variations as well, to hopefully try and keep driving that deadlift up and kind of get it back progressing rather than just having it, I don't want to say stagnant, but just at a competitive level. I want to be a real contender for winning deadlift events. It's going to take a while, but we will get there. Thursday. What was going on Thursday? Training pretty early here. I can see there's lots of light. I can't quite remember, but just didn't really have too much energy. My shoulders were kind of a little beat up from that dumbbell still. So I had some strict press. And I've found that even if I'm grinding out strict presses like you'll see here, it really doesn't beat me up because the load's just a lot lighter. But I'm able to kind of push them a bit harder. So yeah, that moved well. I moved on to some bench variation, or a bench, regular bench after this. Worked up to 225 for a set of 5. I just wanted to put 2 plates on just to, make sure I can do it type of thing. But one thing I'm kind of realizing, especially after watching these benches and the presses, is that I'm kind of getting slow in my upper body. I don't know if that's because, especially on these benches, I'm watching them back. I don't know if it's because I'm maybe being too cautious, whereas before I would kind of just dive bomb and almost just heave it up, even though I'm kind of doing that on some of these reps. So I'm going to try and add in some more, I don't want to call it speed work, but lighter, higher intensity work to try and get some of that speed back, especially my triceps and shoulders and chest. But I think it's also going to come with just putting more size on. So after this competition here on the weekend, I'm going to talk to the coach, get some more, higher volume, lower weight, higher intensity work to just really push some speed. These kind of incline dumbbell variations is the kind of thing I'm talking about, where the load is not heavy. It's still pretty taxing, but I have to keep the intensity pretty high. Shoot, I lost my train of thought. Anywho, I had a couple sets of these. I think we were doing 10s with a 2-second pause on the chest. I kind of ran out of steam here, so took a little break, and then pumped out another set of 4, just to get some more, hit that number. Friday was deadlift day. It's my only real deadlift for this prep. So I want to just at least hit comp weight. Preferably, I would deadlift, take my heavy deadlift 2 weeks out, but only had 2 weeks to prep for this. So just had to kind of go for it. We are using a deadlift bar, which is a bit of a treat. Obviously, I get a lot out of my pull on the deadlift bar, the whip, and a little bit of slack you get off the floor. I find puts me in a lot better position to pull, even though I got a little bit out of position on these, especially watching these back. My hips are shooting up first, and then my back is rounding, and then I'm pulling. So going to have to do some more work on the lower back to get that stronger. Going to do some more positioning work with some pause deadlifts to make sure that I am starting in the right spot. Simple things like that are going to help me bring a full, complete, stronger package to provincials and hopefully nationals. Of course, Friday finished off with a bunch of back accessories. Just showed the main mover here, which was our pull downs. We had some deadlift rows, dumbbell steel rows, things like that. Just got a good pump in the back. Saturday, we had some events. Obviously, this was Easter weekend, so had some family coming over. So I had to kind of squeeze this in. But I was super, super beat up from my deadlift day. My back, hamstrings, hips, everything was just done. But so the idea of getting under a heavy yoke was not ideal, but I knew I wanted to at least touch comp weight. Again, I do not recommend doing this 1 week out. Ideally you'd have a bit more of a prep and all this work would be done. But I know my body. I know I can recover enough to where I can bring, at least 80 to 90% on comp day. And again, I'm just going in to do this for fun. I want to go support these guys, support their show. This is the 3rd year they've had it. 1st year it's sanctioned. So yeah, they're doing really good stuff, and it's always good to support everybody. We had some farmers in the show. We're going to have max distance farmers. You'll have 50-foot runs. You'll have to drop it at the ends, which are your safe zones. If you drop it in the middle, then you run is terminated, and you just measure a distance. So I wanted 150 feet total at comp weight. And on this second run here, I don't know, the street I'm training on is a little bit uphill the way I'm going, and I don't know if I was maybe moving a bit too much. You can see my upper body. I'm swaying a lot side to side. My grip actually started to give out, which is a problem I've never really had. So I don't know if that's hopefully that's not going to come back and bite me on the show here. But again, after this comp is done, I'm going to add in some more grip work throughout the week. Just simple things, like your behind the back bar holds or some hangs. Just things that aren't going to take up a lot of time. Things you can do, take 10 minutes after a session, get some grip work in, and call it a day. I'm also adding in my Monday session from this week that I just did yesterday as a recording. Shit. Yeah, sorry. This is my last heavy press day. Obviously, this is comp week. Keep saying that. Typically, I'll hit a kind of 90% day on the Monday press day before the show. But this one kind of had to be at comp weight mostly just for the mental, so I know that my confidence is there to hit it on the day of. Obviously, doing a heavy double dumbbell overhead is not a standard event, so I really just wanted to make sure that I at least had the power to get it overhead, and I did. However, the lockout is a little bit sketchy. Even though it's not, I have it controlled, but I just couldn't. My elbows didn't seem to want to fully lock. Like the position you're seeing is what felt locked out. So I don't know if that's a shoulder problem or upper, something like that. So gonna have a look at that in a bit here and try and figure that out. So then I addressed the issue of triceps moving slow by doing some reverse band bench here. Just trying to move it as fast as I can. Weight isn't super heavy. Bands took a bit more attention than I would have liked. But that's okay. Got it done. And then our finisher for the day, we had some dumbbell cleans, which is one of my favorite upper back, rear delt movements, especially on press days. It just feels like a natural accessory. So definitely, I've talked about them before, but for sure, try them out. It's something you can throw in for sets of 12 to 30, and you're going to get a good pump, get a good feel from them. And then finished off some simple tricep extensions. Again, just trying to pump it up, not trying to burn myself out. So, yes, that's all. Thank you for watching. Comp this weekend. Comp recap coming up next.